Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on April 6, 2021 at approximately 5:50 a.m. PST. Now, I talked to you yesterday about making things happen, about watching transformation. Well, we now have a couple things changed. Yesterday was a little hectic. Okay, managed to successfully dislocate both knees. That was fun. Not. But it happens for me now and then. Anyway, the sign that I was talking about before, that I said was over on that wall there, is now sitting here. The wood sign there, I don't know if you can read it. Doesn't look like you're going to be able to, but that word, or that sign, is the one that I hand burnt that says, I am worth it. Now, just dawned on me, this works out really conveniently because now when I do the videos, that sign can sit there and remind you of exactly the same thing. Above that is still the business license for Inner Voice Enterprises. And I've still got my sign up here that says I have legally attained a minimum of $2,000 by April 30th of 2021 at 1 minute to midnight. Now, these particular tools are the ones that, obviously, if I'm going to keep them that close, they work. Well, at least I think it's obvious. I know it's worked incredibly well for me. That whole shelf over there that you can't see anymore, it's gone anyway, is going to be the home of these boxes here. These are the new office desks that I just picked up. Now, things are moving very nicely forward from in my perspective. Okay, the trick is to stay focused on one critical factor, and that is attaining success. Your success. For you to do it, you've got to do your own work. I can tell you the tools that I've used. One of the biggest tools in the office, because I had to start somewhere. And since I spend so much time in the office, okay, I figured what better place to get organized than here. Now, I do have that neat little notepad of mine. The rest of my desk is mostly clear. Got a little more to do, but then I'm replacing all of the desks in here. Eventually, I'll have a webcam that I can move around and show you, but for the moment, that's not the case. Okay, but the table that was there is now gone. It will be replaced by a table on wheels, so I can move it out of the way when I desire to. Okay, and all the paperwork that you're seeing in that set of shelves will be getting cleared off. These are just little steps along the way. In order to attain success, is to successfully alter your life from where it was from where it is to where you desire it to be, is going to take steps. These are just the little steps that I take. Okay, one step at a time, one small project at a time, if at all possible. Now, because of the challenges that I have getting blueprints and what have you to work, or even instructions where it comes to material objects, okay, as in office desks and what have you, it takes me a little longer than I would like it to. I can write things out without a problem, hence why I'm in the middle of writing 13 books at the same time in 5 different genres. Okay, plus, of course, getting finances organized, getting junk gotten rid of. I do not like that word. I gotta figure out why I keep using it. The word gotten, I mean. I have looked it up, and according to pretty much every source I've looked at, it's an acceptable word. I just don't personally like it. It isn't self-deprivating. It isn't damaging, like the words that I've listed in the videos, in my videos titled language. I just don't particularly like the word. Okay, now, that said, you have to have a purpose. My purpose to start with in this room is simply to get it completely renovated. Okay, these 2 shelves behind me, the metal ones, are probably going to stay there for some time because I got too many other things I gotta get done, and at least they're getting organized. Now, I can tell you all the tools that you require, but the reality is you're the one that's going to have to correct it, and that's going to have to change your life. You're going to have to do the work for you. But think of it this way. The overall picture here is to bring everybody onto the same track. We all have the same thing in common. We all are denizens of this planet. Regardless of what race you are, and especially where people keep talking about human race, as a species, we have to start working together if we desire this world to turn into something better than what it was. For that matter, better than what it is. We can carry on with the fear, we can carry on with the struggle, we can carry on doing things the way they will, but for how long? Okay. In your community, one of the best ways, now I'm not a sociologist, I've not been trained in any of it, which may be a good idea, I don't know. Okay, I don't have the education according to modern education, modern schooling. What I've got is almost 58 years of observation, almost 48 of them working with people on a consulting level, personal and business. To date, I am looking at well over 80,000 clients that I've dealt with. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, and I'm not really that old in my eyes. Now that's the other point that you look at. You have no choice in life. You will get older. But it's up to you if you get old. Okay, now, from that standpoint, you don't have to know where you're heading in life by the time you're 20. This is just a message to a lot of people that have that impression. I know a lot of people that talk to me and go, I didn't have my life in order. Here I am pushing my late 40s and I still don't know what I want to do. I feel like I've wasted my life. However you got to where you are, however that came about, whatever you've been through, the fact of the matter is you're here. And everything you went through is what brought you to this point. It is now up to you to decide, are you going to continue living your life based on what you've been through, continue hanging on to the past, or are you going to simply deal with it and start moving forward? And give me half a second, because I'm just going to open a window here. Okay, just opened the window. And again, because of the way that my mind works, this may prove to be a question. It's at the 8-minute mark right now. So when this video is done, I will go back and make sure that the pause worked on the video. I don't edit. If the pause didn't work, I'll end up redoing the whole video. But I will let you know. Oh, by the way, when I did the pause yesterday, it did work. Okay, so I ended up posting it as is. There was a little bit of a glitch in there. I think, if I remember correctly, it was about a 5-minute glitch, or a 5-minute pause in the recording. But give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. I'm really happy. I was looking at the numbers over the weekend, and such a tiny number compared to a lot of the YouTubers out there. Okay, I just broke the 100 subscription mark. Okay, and it is my intent to take this message and get it to the entire world, because you're all identical in that respect. Your age, everything about you may be different except one thing. You're all denizens of the same planet. Now, for me to become successful, I just hit the 100 mark. My next goal, and I'll keep you posted on it, my next goal is to hit 200, as in double my subscriptions. Okay, so I can get this message out so people can start realizing that together we have a shot. We can actually turn this world back around to a world that everybody can be successful at. Everybody in their own right. Now, your idea of success and mine may be two very different things. I've run into some people where being a successful housewife, as in having a husband or common law husband, whether it's married or common law, having a partner that they can take care of, raising kids, and keeping the house and finances running smoothly. That's their idea of success, and that is a fantastic idea. Quite frankly, parenting is one of the most underrated jobs in the world. Okay, as far as I've come to understand, and at least in my belief structure, it's very underrated, but extremely important. And every one of the people in what you may consider the elite class, every one of them started out as a child with nothing, with not knowing where they were going. Sure, some people have what is called old money. Their parents had already worked hard and passed on a legacy. That was really badly pronounced, but we work with it. Some people started off on the street and worked their way up. Okay, I come from a very simple background and ended up with very simple tastes. One of the biggest things that I ended up with, in my opinion, was I don't personally see a functional difference between anybody on the planet. Whether it's a foreign dignitary, whether it's a politician, a business owner, a pauper on the street, a housewife, a house husband, doesn't matter. You're all the same in my eyes and deserve the exact same amount of respect. Okay, every one of you has that same right, in my opinion, I have the same obligation to treat them the same way, not put them on a pedestal, because nobody is that much better than anybody. Okay, yes, absolutely. If somebody, like, I met a chap years ago that went around the world, on a wheelchair. Now, absolutely, that was one heck of an accomplishment. Accolades to him. But as an individual goes, he is still the same as everybody else. He still deserves the same amount of respect and the same amount of decency as everybody else on the planet. I was talking to a chap on the street the other day that has such a wonderful outlook on life. He doesn't have much to his name. Okay, he lives on the street, I think for the most part by choice. Okay, but I'm honestly not 100% certain. He certainly doesn't spend a lot of time indoors. The guy he's got a portable stove, and that's what he cooks with. Okay, but the guy he has not resorted to drugs. He's not an alcoholic. Okay, the man is not a thief. Okay, he is just a genuine, all the way around decent person. And the only functional difference between him and me is he's out on the street. I live in an apartment. Okay, does this make me better than him? Not in the slightest, in my opinion. Okay, he's got a life I wouldn't want, and presumably I've got a life he wouldn't want. Otherwise, he'd do something about it, or he'd fight to do something about it. And I do know this man has gotten into homes where he's been living in a house, and yet he keeps ending up going back to living on the street. That's the way his life goes. That's the way he puts it. Okay, now your life is what it is, and you may have your regrets. Okay, Lord knows I got mine. Because of that, okay, it is time to take a look at in the mirror and go, okay, what am I not content with? What am I not happy with? It's easier, in all fairness, to identify what makes you unhappy than it is to identify what makes you happy. Because there are some people that have trouble equating happy, like really understanding what that is. They understand what not sad is or what not fearful is, but they don't know necessarily what the boundary that says happy. And rest assured, the fact that somebody is laughing or smiling does not mean internally they're happy. Sometimes that is an autonomic system. It's a reactionary thing. Okay, like when you hear people start to laugh, especially I find if you hear a little child start to giggle, and I'm talking one that's still in a high chair, it is an infectious laugh. And just because it causes people to laugh doesn't mean it causes everybody to be happy. Okay, some people get very uncomfortable when they start laughing, possibly because of the sound they make when they laugh. Okay, but you have to have a purpose in life. Okay, now that purpose can be very short. Okay, now I've got some pretty big plans myself, as in going global, getting on the speaking circuit, both from a motivational standpoint, and on the speaking circuit again when things open up, talking about UFOs, talking about alien technologies and what have you. Okay, this is one of my other specialties. It's also one of the books that I've written. Now, the first Friday of every month, and from 9 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm on a internet show called Spaced Out Radio, and I do a program called the ET Connection. Okay, now that is, and like I've been doing that now we've just passed our 6-year anniversary, which may give you an idea of how well it's been going. Now, my intention is at this point in life doing the same thing on the live circuit. Now, it's really kind of a weird setup when you think about it. That's where I'm looking for, and the whole catch to it from my standpoint is simple. I require an invitation and the travel time and the travel finances to make it happen. Okay, with that in mind, I'm quite open to it. Contacting me is easy. At the bottom of every video, there's a whole list of ways that you can make a connection to me. There's the list of publications I've already got in print. Okay, that at this point are only available through me, but I'm working on expanding that repertoire as well. Okay, therefore, if you've got questions, if you're wondering how to go about changing from where you are to where you'd like to be, or away from where you don't like being, absolutely, we will continue doing this I'm planning on doing this for the foreseeable future anyway. In all fairness, I found it has really helped me personally, not the least of which is while I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm taking a look at the stuff behind me and I'm noticing the changes that I've set in motion that I desire to do. These are things that I desire. And it's like I tell people that are close to me. Okay, if it makes them happy, that's great. But the reality is, this is for me. Okay. Now, I'm the only one that can be successful for me. I can talk to all the people in the world, and they can give me all the best tools on the planet. And there's a lot of good writers out there, a lot of good speakers that give really top-notch direction. Okay. Now, I'm not the best of the best. I mean, quite frankly, the only thing I've got going for me, in my opinion, and it's a toss-up whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, is I'm direct. You ask me a question, I'll give you as direct an answer as I can. This does not mean you'll like the answer. Okay. Now, even with this t-shirt, okay, this was a speaking event that I went to. This was at Paracon down in Washington State, in Skagit County. Back in 2019, I was there to speak. And I would happily go back there again to speak, when the time is available. But I don't know what their events are looking like right now. COVID played havoc with everybody. Okay. And the reality of it is, COVID itself wasn't the problem. It was people's reaction to it. Okay. And that is the same with everything in life. You cannot, and I cannot, control how other people view what I'm seeing. Okay, or what I'm saying. The only thing I can do is I can take a look at controlling how I react or how I respond to what other people say. Now, it's funny, I was talking to one person, and I said, look, the last thing I want to be, and that I want to happen, is to be put on a pedestal. And the person looked at me and goes, Keith, you can't stop that from happening. Other people may put you on a pedestal. Okay, same applies to you. Somebody may put you on a pedestal. But that's not where the problem starts. It's if you start seeing that pedestal as meaning you're better than other people. Okay, now, again, you cannot control how other people respond to you, what other people think of you. All you can do is control how you respond to their response. Okay, I've already had emails from people telling me I'm completely off my nut. And what I fall back to there is, well, I've got 3 psychiatrists that have all said the same thing. No, definitely no tolerance for stupidity, but you're not nuts. Now, if the people that legally have the right to lock me up are going to tell me that I'm sane, then I'm good. Okay, from my standpoint, it's very simple. I'm comfortable where I am now. I've got a home that I'm happy with. I've got a relationship I'm very content with. I've got family that I'm content with. You know, my finances are in functional order. They're not perfect, but they are improving. And they're on a path that I know will work. Okay, and it's all been by using tools like these. Okay, again, I've got a list of jobs that I've got on here that I'm working on. Okay, and as the day goes on, I will get the rest of my office sorted around. Well, that's probably going to be another 2 days before that gets finished, but one step at a time. Okay, you have to have a purpose in life. That purpose does not have to be it doesn't have to be an issue of, I want to be the president of whatever country, or I want to own a massive multinational corporation. Those don't have to be the goal. Your purpose may be to raise a couple of really, really well-adjusted kids that they themselves can turn around and become productive members of society. That is, in my opinion, one of the best purposes in life. If you choose to have kids, absolutely take responsibility and do your best to turn them into people that can be proud of themselves, and in all fairness, that other people can be proud of. But again, you can't control that side of it. Teach your kids to be proud of their own accomplishments, to be able to stand up and say, I did this. Okay, you know, this is just some of the things that you look at. Now, what you're going to find for me over the next little while is those shelves over there that I've just moved over there. And all I did was empty them out, move the shelf, and put the stuff back. Because I needed it out of the way so I could put the new office desk in. Okay. Today I will be working out a schedule for the number of different writing projects. Now that I've got the office worked out, you know, just about worked out, at least it's coming that way. As I get it worked out, I will be able to actually become much more productive in the office, and for me, very necessary. One of the biggest reasons for reorganizing my office, I've literally gutted all but this side of this one desk that I'm sitting at. I've pretty much gutted the rest of it and rearranged it. Okay, and that's the way it's going to continue going. I'm going to keep organizing in here, then I will move to the other parts of the house. Needless to say, you start wherever you are right this moment, that's where you start. Okay, when do you start? Right now. The idea of postponing, like I got asked, I was talking to somebody the other day, and he asked, well, when should I make this change? And like I told him, now. Well, I says, now, and I looked at him and went, well, no, now is a bad time, because they needed to call somebody to straighten the problem out for themselves. I says, no, now is not a good time. It's like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night right now. You might want to wait till the morning. Okay, because unless you're like me and up at really weird times, it doesn't work well. You always take into consideration, if at all possible, the time that somebody else is awake and functioning. I've got one friend that you just don't worry about it because there is no gauging when he wakes up or when he goes to bed. Even he doesn't know. Okay, so take into consideration what other people's schedules look like. and make that part of your calculation of when to do things if they involve other people. But for stuff that you yourself have total control over, and you're the one responsible, like for me, reorganizing my office, that's something I do for me. It's something nobody else has any control over. Okay, so I just do it when I'm able to, when I set it up, which is why I keep this neat little note. Once I get done this video, I've got a few other things already on my list to deal with. Okay, now, I do have a tendency of keeping these videos short. Well, I call it short, they're only half an hour, because I can rattle on in circles. So, I'm going to bring this to a close, and I will be back tomorrow sometime. Again, I don't set my schedule, I do these when I get up. Okay, or at least that's usually when I do them. So, when I get up, I give a call. Okay, I call up the computer and I get doing this video and get it posted. Once I've got it posted, then I get on with the rest of the day, but sometimes it goes the other way around. But I will be here again sometime tomorrow, so join me then, okay, and see where we're going from there. And let's get motivated, let's work together and make this world a better world for everybody. Anyway, until tomorrow, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.